This video is sponsored by Audible. For a free audiobook, use the link in the description below. Today is November 4th, 2024, and Reactor Magazine has released 2 more Wind in Truth preview chapters. In this video, I'll be going through those 2 chapters and telling you my thoughts. Chapter 27 is titled, What is Right? This is another Szeth flashback chapter, taking place 26 years before the main timeline. It picks up shortly after Szeth found the new rock poking up from the ground. This new rock frightens him because he knows it will bring change to the life that he loves so much. We get some more lore about Shinovar. We see that Szeth's father, Neturo, gets to wear 3 splashes because his duty of training other shepherds elevates him. Neturo tells Szeth and Eled that the stone shamans might make them move because of this new rock, so that they can monitor the potential holy land that they live on and see if more stones begin to emerge. Szeth really does not like this idea of having to move into town, but he's determined to do it if it's the right thing to do. Szeth's mother returns home. Her splash is a long green skirt, which Szeth thinks is audacious considering her station. She has one of the town shovels with her. The metal blade of the shovel was soul cast by an honor bearer. It seems that the reason that the Shin don't use regular metal is because that would require them to mine into sacred rock. Szeth is aghast that his mother plans to move the stone, and Szeth is told that they have 2 options: either move the stone to a different location before telling the stone shamans, or leaving it where it is. Moving it will allow them to keep living on this land, otherwise they have to move. Neturo leaves this decision to Szeth because he's the one that found the stone. Szeth chooses to move the stone, but he knows this isn't the right thing to do. Szeth feels a little resentment towards his family because he could tell that all 3 of them wanted him to choose to move the stone. And he feels upset that they made him be the one to choose, because ultimately that made it his fault. At least that's how Szeth sees it. So we see that even as an 11-year-old, Szeth has a very strong sense of what he feels is right and wrong. I had always kind of gotten the vibe that Shin culture in general was that way, but it seems like Szeth might be pretty unique. As they're in the process of moving the small stone, horns sound, signaling raiders. Szeth's mother hides the stone for now so that they can shepherd their sheep and themselves off to safety. It seems like the reason there aren't many Spren in Shinovar is because the Spren live within stone, or at least that's what the Shin believe. If that turns out to be true, I wonder why that would be the case. Maybe it has something to do with the Crim from the High Storms being more highly invested than normal soil. I'm not really sure. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. This chapter ends with Szeth hugging Molly the sheep, wishing the day had never begun. Then we get to chapter 28, which is titled Obstacle. The epigraph is another part of the 4th parable from The Way of Kings. This chapter starts from Shallan's perspective. It picks up just after Eatil realized who she was. Eatil runs into the other room to notify the other Ghostbloods, giving Shallan time to signal the strike team with her span reed. Shallan nearly flees the hideout, but then Radiant convinces her to stay, so she summons her plate and blade. She also forms Testament into a shard shield affixed to her left arm. She enters the larger room with all the Ghostbloods, and she sees that they begin to flee through a hidden doorway in one of the walls. Murray smiles at her, looking proud. Eatil takes the hand ballista from Murray's and loads it with one of the anti-light bolts. Shallan knows that she needs to distract Murray's and Eatil so that they don't escape before the strike team gets there. So she yells out to Murray's, and we see that her helmet can amplify her voice when she speaks. That's pretty cool. She talks to Eatil and Murray's about Mishram, and it works as a distraction for a time. But then Eatil looses the anti-light bolt, and Shallan expels her stormlight, dismisses her armor, and jumps to the side. The bolt strikes her in the ribs. She can feel the anti-light being injected into her, and it feels wrong. She fights against her natural urge to breathe in normal stormlight because she knows if the 2 lights meet, it will be catastrophic. Eatil draws a knife and moves toward Shallan, but then part of the ceiling melts, creating a hole that allows a stone ward and a bunch of windrunners in. Eatil, Murray's, and Like vanish, the air around them warping with a light-tinged black violet. So does that mean that one of their Spren is an enlightened ink Spren? Because it seems like they're using Elsecaller powers. Then we get Kaladin Kaladin's perspective. He and Szeth are still making their way across Shinovar. Szeth told Kaladin about some of his childhood, up until the point when he found the rock and the Raider's horn sounded. We get some more lore about the flora of Shinovar and other areas of Roshar. And then they reach an overlook and they notice a darkness around one of the monasteries with wisps of blackness rising from it. This is the scene that was depicted in this artwork. We finally get to see this scene written on page. Szeth tells Kaladin that he was elevated in his youth and went on a pilgrimage to each monastery, training with the honor blades at each monastery that housed one. And we also find out that Szeth's meeting with the Unmade happened much later than finding the rock, but the rock and the raid was the beginning. The beginning of what exactly, we don't really know. I'm guessing it's the beginning of him becoming truthless and setting him on this course that his life has been on ever since. And this chapter ends with them deciding to camp for the night and waiting until morning to investigate the monastery. And Kaladin insisted that they need a cook fire. He plans to try to get Szeth to open up more. Okay, those were two pretty short chapters, but we did get some interesting information out of them. I wonder if the anti-light will have a lasting effect on Shallan. That can't be good to have it seeping through her like that. How long does she need to wait before she can draw in more stormlight? I'd be extremely worried to even try it, considering the two lights mixing causes an explosion. I'm eager to hear more about that. All right, guys, those were my thoughts on the two chapters. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And it's not too late to pre-order Wind and Truth. You can do so right now, absolutely free, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Audible. All you have to do is use the link in the description below and sign up for an Audible Premium Plus 30-day free trial. Then Audible will give you a credit, and you can use this credit to get any audiobook of your choice, including pre-ordering Wind and Truth. Being an Audible member also gives you access to the Audible Plus catalog, which includes thousands of other audiobooks and podcasts. It's a really good service and I highly recommend it. So once again, get your free audiobook today by using the link in the description. That's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.